Good morning. Welcome to the beautiful Church of the River on the banks of the Mississippi in downtown Memphis. I'm Courtney Staub. I use she, her pronouns. I'm pronoun positive. Let me know what pronouns are speaking to you currently. Thank you to James and Debbie for the beautiful music that greeted us as we entered in. You are welcome here today in the rich assortments of hues and colors and all your beautiful expressions of gender and ethnicity and family. You are welcome here. In the depth and breadth of your love, in the beautiful, brilliant expression of your joys, and in your sorrows, you are welcome here. So join us, friends and family, and join us, visitors too, as we enter into a spirit of worship. We have soul work materials. Sorry, that didn't sound very good. Soul work materials in the back of the sanctuary. Mike or Ron can help you with those if you would like something to keep your hands busy and your mind clear as you listen to the service. All ages are welcome to use soul materials. If you're new, we're so glad you're here to visit with us today. Take a look at your order of service. There's lots of good information in there, and there's a multitude of QR codes to do all sorts of magical things. Ask a church member if you need help figuring out which code does what. We will try and assist. One last gentle reminder to silence your electronic devices if you can. I know some folks sometimes have an electronic device they need for a family member in need or some other kind of outside emergency. So if you're able to silence your electronic devices, that would be much appreciated. Okay, kids, I think that covers it. All right, we will now have introit. Okay, James just nodded his head. That's a good thing. All right, take it away, James.
Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of the evening, ours is the caravan of despair. Come, yet again come.
Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to our service today. My name is Lisa Jennings. I'm a volunteer lay leader for Reverend Lynn Hopkins. If this is your first Sunday to attend service, I encourage you to come back and hear the wonderful message that Lynn brings to our congregation each Sunday. I've been a member of the church for a number of years. I do have a certificate in theological studies from Meadville-Lombard Theological School, one of our seminaries of the UU Association. And I've been attending this church for almost 30 years. I serve on the Board of Trustees. Let us begin our service today. We gather in this sacred space. It is a common place, common because we are all welcome. Sacred because we are here for transformation from the ordinary and to deepen the human heart. Let us begin our service today with our chalice lighting spoken in unison. You'll find in the order of service. We light this chalice for the challenge of freedom, the goal of equality, and the warmth of community. May all who gather here offer, find the blessings of acceptance, loving kindness, and a grateful heart. Let us now sing the first hymn, hymn number 166, Years Are Coming. Please rise as you're able. At this time, it is time for all ages. I'd like to invite any children who would like to come down to the front, or anyone who feels particularly young at heart today. We'll have a small object lesson for the kids, and many of them are already toward the front, so that's good.
This may be toward our front, Ms. Lisa.
Okay, great. Good morning. So I hope you children and adults had a great week between Christmas and what's coming up to be another holiday. Does anyone know what's coming up next? Yeah. New Year's, right. So you often hear people saying Merry Christmas or Happy Hanukkah, but then sometimes people say Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, right? So a brand new year will start what day? January 1st. Great. And so sometimes people use this time of the year to think about, like next year, what am I going to do? Is there something I'm going to do differently? Or is there something that maybe I did this past year, but I'm not going to do that anymore, or I'd like to change that? So oftentimes we use our phone, or some of us use a calendar to plan activities, right, or things that are important. So what might be some important things that we do during the year that you might put on a calendar? You have an idea? Church, there we go. Yay, good. That's a good idea, because we learn and we get to meet new people and we feel like we have a family right here at church. How about if you had a doctor appointment or a dentist appointment, something like that? That might go on a calendar. But sometimes it can be really busy, right? So let me show you a calendar a paper calendar that has been used this past year. And wow, look at this. How many things are in this calendar? Whoa, that's pretty hectic, right? So if I turn to the back page, there's still a few things already in there for January, but it's not as busy, right? So this is an opportunity to fill things in that maybe are a little more important, like maybe visiting a grandparent or an aunt or uncle, or maybe there's a neighbor that you know that you want to say hello to more, or what would be something else? Anybody have an idea that would be nice to put in a calendar other than all the busy stuff? Any suggestions? Volunteering. Yeah, that's an idea. So you might think about how you can fill your calendar, not only with the important things to do, your schoolwork, your doctor's appointments, maybe going to a play or watching a sporting event, but maybe doing some things that might help others, or you might help with something. Maybe clean your room once a week or something like that. But anyway, think about the new year. Think what you might like to have. If you had a calendar, what might you put in the calendar and have a happy new year? So friends, let us raise our hands and recite. You are beloved. You are sacred. You are powerful. And so, children, you can either return to your parents or your significant other. I don't know if there's classes today. Do we know if there's classes to return to? No. Okay. Well, just find where you were sitting before, and I hope you enjoy the service. Before we sing our next hymn, I just wanted to be sure you knew in the baskets that are on the pews, there are blue slips of paper. If you care to fill in a joy or a sorrow that you would like to be read or maybe passed on confidentially to Reverend Lynn, this would be a good time to pass those baskets, those of you that are on the end of the pews down, and people take a slip, because we take these up either in the offering bag that's passed, or you hand them to the ushers, and we want to be sure you have time to fill these out. If there's something that you would like to be shared, I will read them, or if not shared, please indicate that, and we'll send them on to Reverend Lynn. Let us now sing our sending hymn, but I guess we're not sending anyone, so let's just forget it, right? You can get to lunch a little earlier today. Okay, so I guess I'll go up and do the readings.
It's like jazzercise, Lisa. Yeah. Can't stay in one spot.
Okay, I'm going to do two readings, one by Henry David Thoreau and the other one by Ralph Waldo Emerson, two very key figures in our Unitarian Universalist movement, as well as the concept of transcendentalism. I can't say that today, but you'll understand what I'm talking about when I read these. Henry David Thoreau was an American naturalist, essayist, poet, and philosopher. He is best known for his book entitled Walden, a reflection upon simple living in natural surroundings, and his essay called Civil Disobedience, which was an argument in favor of citizen disobedience against an unjust state. Here is an excerpt from Walden. I went to the woods because I wished to live deliberately, to front only the essential facts of life and see if I could not learn what it had to teach, and not, when I came to die, discover that I had not lived. I did not wish to live what was not life. Living is so dear. Nor did I wish to practice resignation unless it was quite necessary. I wanted to live deep and suck out all the marrow of life, to live so sturdily and Spartan-like as to put to rout all that was not life, to cut a broad swath and shave close, to drive life into a corner and reduce it to its lowest terms. And if it proved to be mean, why then to get the whole and genuine meanness out of it and publish its meanness to the world, or if it were sublime, to know it by experience and be able to give a true account of it in my next excursion. Ralph Waldo Emerson was deeply rooted in the Unitarian tradition, born into a Unitarian family, trained at Harvard Divinity School, and served as a Unitarian minister before leaving the pulpit to found Transcendentalism, a philosophy that emphasized intuition, individual experience, and a direct relationship with God, profoundly influencing modern Unitarian Universalism by shifting the focus from institutional religion to personal spiritual discovery. And I quote, I appeal from your customs. I must be myself. I cannot break myself any longer for you or you. You can love me for what I am. We shall be happier. If you cannot, I will still seek to deserve that you should. I must be myself. I will not hide my taste or aversions. I will so trust that what is deep is holy, that I will do strongly before the sun and the moon whatever rejoices me and the heart appoints. If you are noble, I will love you. If you are not, I will not hurt you. and myself by hypocritical attentions. If you are true, but not in the same truth with me, cleave to your companions, I will seek my own. I do this not selfishly, but humbly and truly. It is alike your interest in mine and all men's, however long we have dwelt in lies, to live in truth. Does this sound harsh today? You will soon love what is dictated by your nature as well as mine. And if we follow the truth, it will bring us out safe at last. But so may you give these friends pain. Yes, but I cannot sell my liberty and my power to save their sensibility. Besides, all persons have their moments of reason when they look out into the region of absolute truth. Then will they justify me and do the same thing? From Ralph Waldo Emerson's Self-Reliance and Other Essays. We have now come for time of our offering. The ushers will be passing our bags, and please consider giving generously to the church or to your pledge. Also, this is a time, if you do have joys and sorrow slips to bring to the front, then this is a time to either give them to the usher or put them in the offering bag. We will now receive the gifts of the congregation. Ushers, do we have any slips to share today? None, okay. The sharing of joys and sorrows is typically carried out during the Sunday service, where we share significant life events such as births, deaths, illnesses, achievements, joy, to foster connection, mutual support, and shared humanity. Today I am grateful to be here with you, and I'm placing a stone for those of us who are present today, for those of us listening to our service, and for those unable to join us due to illness or suffering a great loss, whatever that may be. Today I'm also adding a stone for the memory of Annie Nelson, a beloved long-term member, a good friend who passed away this month. If any of you would like to come down and place a stone in the bowl along with your silent meditation here, you are invited to come down at this time. Those unable to come down or perhaps not ready to come down, if you raise your hand, I will put in a stone in the bowl on your behalf. Let us have a time for prayer and silent meditation. Give us wisdom as we reflect on our truths and on our true intentions. Give us strength as we examine our lives with honesty and with hope. Help us enter the new year aware and awake, so that our decisions of what to put down and what to take up can be made with intention and with clarity. May we declare love and support for one another in times of joy and of sorrow. Let us now sing our responsive song, holding each other in faith and community. Hymn number 123, Spirit of Life. For the last Sunday in December, UU sermon topics often focus on themes of light in darkness, renewal, inner reflection, and building a better world. We might seek this time of the year to recommitting to humanity and justice, finding strength and hope together in our church community. It's almost the new year, and whether you practice New Year's resolutions or not, there's a varied opinion on New Year's resolutions. This lull period between Christmas holidays and New Year's is often a time of reflection. Perhaps things have slowed down a tad, maybe everything's just still very hectic for you. But the new year traditionally has provided a symbolic clean slate and a natural time for reflection on habits and goals. Some of us may focus on letting go of old year's fears and frustrations and embrace a new year with self-awareness and hope. Others of us may have a list of either attainable or unattainable goals, almost a year-long to-do list that may or may not be successful. Vague intentions without concrete plans for how to achieve them often doom resolutions and can even have a negative effect on our self-esteem. Regardless how each of us view the new year and resolutions, can we take advantage? Do you have that luxury of time to slow down and ground ourselves before the new year begins? There's not many days left, right? Our lives are filled with schedules, demands on our time, family, personal activities, health issues, on and on. When time is made to examine a life, it is a dynamic process of evolving, understanding, adapting to a new experience or experiences, understanding how our experiences shape our beliefs, and continually redefining purpose that leads to a more intentional life. On the third Sunday of Advent, Reverend Lynn talked about joy and the importance of paying attention, including the practice of attentiveness in our daily life to find and to experience joy. So there's attention needed to experience joy. Living life with intention is also one that does not simply wait for moments to arrive, recognizing that art and love and beauty are not rare phenomena, but are invitations that appear all the time, waiting for us to notice them, waiting for us to be attentive and intentional. So how do we approach this concept of intentional living? We might approach it by listening to our inner voice and seeking what we sometimes call wholeness. What does that mean exactly? But maybe it's kind of a sense of well-being that you're present in the world. We might aim to live with purpose. We might recognize that we are part of something larger and that individual lives do matter in that greater purpose. A church, for example, right? We're all here together as individuals, but we're bridging friendships, we're being in community, we're thinking about how together we can do things with a greater purpose. Living with intention seems to require the creation of a quiet space that allows us to connect with who we really are. So it's kind of like a concept of being pulled in more deeply to what we call ourself, our inner self, our spirit, and into a space that protects us from pressure to accomplish, or what may be considered being pushed out. Pulled in, feeling that pulling in versus feeling like you're being pushed out. Pushed out, to do things that maybe doesn't even resonate with who you are. Sometimes you have to consider things to do that will bridge relationships or to reach out to other people, to be a good citizen in the world, to be part of a community. But you also need to make room to ask questions that focus on meaning and purpose. And if we carve out that quieter space, then we're pulled in. And then maybe we might think about this coming year isn't the year of becoming better or new and improved, but a year of finding yourself. So you can be authentic and be in relationship with each other. Parker Palmer, a renowned American writer, speaker, and Quaker elder, offers, before you tell your life what you intend to do with it, listen for what it intends to do with you. Before you tell your life what truths and values you have decided to live up to, let your life tell you what truths you embody, what values you represent or deep down want to represent in your one precious life. Unbelievably, it's already the end of 2025. Time flies, particularly as you get older, right? If we had goals or intentions for 2025 that are yet to be realized, maybe it's time to really consider how intentional we were with our time and decision making. Like, I was going to quit all my bad habits for the new year, but then I remembered that nobody likes a quitter. So what is the difference between a choice and an intention? A choice is an isolated event. Are you going to the grocery store today? Are you going to the ball game tonight? Are you doing your homework now? So it's often driven by a desire or a value, likely in today's world competing demands. Intentional living, not a choice. Intentional living can be a choice, but it's got some other parts, right? It's got commitment. It actually does have a course of action connected to intentions. But different from a choice, an intention is frequently a continuing condition or commitment. Maybe making choices versus intentional living is similar to the difference between observing and experiencing. We make choices all the time, part of our everyday life. Intentional living is more of an act of commitment of our inner self. And it's interesting, you start thinking about that, and you're riding in a car, and maybe you're having a conversation with someone. And if you think, well, am I being intentional in this moment? Am I taking advantage of this time with this person? And it doesn't always have to be serious conversation. It can be lighthearted. It can be a way of connecting. It can be a way of being interesting with another individual. Boella and Kiesling offer that intentions are more likely to resist reconsideration and have a plan of execution to improve the selection of actions or choices. You may have heard the saying, the road to hell is paved with good intentions, as a proverb meaning good intentions aren't enough. They must be backed by positive actions, or they may fall more into the category of choices and lead to either intended or unintended outcomes. So if you're into equations, like some of us science nerds and math nerds are, intention equals choice plus commitment plus attention. For Thoreau, living deliberately meant stripping life down to its essentials, living with purpose and being fully present to discover life's true meaning, rather than drifting through routines or societal expectations. It involves simplifying possessions, minimizing distractions, and focusing on inner wealth, nature, and meaningful activities to avoid the regret of not having lived at the end of one's life. Self-Reliance by Ralph Waldo Emerson advocated for individualism, nonconformity, and trust in one's own intuition over societal pressure and tradition. It argued that true fulfillment comes from trusting your inner voice and instincts rather than conforming to the opinions and customs of the crowd, which Emerson saw as a conspiracy against individual potential. Key themes included rejecting foolish consistency, creating your own culture, and finding peace through self-trust. Nothing can bring you peace but yourself, said Emerson. So in summary, life, I believe, is lived in the ordinary. It happens in the waiting. It happens in the commuting. It happens in the conversations on the bench, the cooking of a meal, the unremarkable catch-up at the end of the day. It's not just in the declaration of love, but in the thousands of small acts that sustain it, not just in the great work of art, but in the daily practice of making something with care. Life is both the extraordinary moment of passion and the routine of the everyday. And it is the everyday where we remain most of our lives. This realization is not far from Kierkegaard, who warned against sleepwalking through life. Too many people, he argued, exist rather than live. Too many people go through the motions, waiting for meaning to arrive later, as if real life is always just beyond the horizon. Overuse of cell phones can be a modern version of sleepwalking through life. Cell phone use, or phubbing, do you know what that is? Phubbing, P-H-U-B-B-I-N-G. That's like ignoring or snubbing someone by using your cell phone, right? When others are sitting in your presence, is a lost opportunity to engage with that person or be attentive to our surroundings. We were at dinner the other night, celebrating our 49th wedding anniversary, and there was a couple next to us at this restaurant, and probably in their 40s or so, and they were sitting there, and unfortunately, I'm not making this up, the husband did have his cell phone out. And it wasn't seemingly like handling an emergency or perhaps an important message from the workplace, and he was kind of scrolling, and the wife, I heard her say, is, "I feel like you're ignoring me." And he did put the cell phone up, but interestingly, neither one took the opportunity to change the mood, or there wasn't like an opportunity. It was like an opportunity missed, whether the wife could have come up with something to talk about, or the husband, but they mostly ate their meal in silence. And it was kind of sad. I mean, you don't always have something to talk about, right? Particularly if you're with that person 7 days a week, but it seemed like neither was particularly interested in embracing that moment, or to do something different, to be engaging, to really live with intention with that other person. So I hope they work that out. How would we feel if we had to live our life again? What if we had to live our life again? Do you remember the movie Groundhog Day? The one played by Bill Murray. He was a cynical TV weatherman. He finds himself reliving the same day over and over again when he goes to Puxatawny to film a report about Groundhog Day. In this movie, he was forced to relive the same day repeatedly until he learned crucial life lessons and became a better person. He kind of got into it toward the end. I think he finally figured it out, and it turned out to be a good story for him. Nietzsche, along the same line, thought experiment, the internal recurrence, his thought experience, the eternal recurrence, asks us to consider if we had to live our life repeatedly, exactly as it is, down to the smallest detail, how would we want it to be? Would you curse that faith, or would you embrace it? The question isn't meant to suggest we actually will repeat our lives eternally. Rather, it's a way of asking, are we living a way we could bear to live over again? It shifts our focus from abstract goals to the quality of the everyday. And the quality of the everyday can start anytime. The past is the past. You're back in your place now. You're in your place. If the life you're living now were the only one you ever had and had to repeat, what would you pay attention to? What would you treat with greater care? Good question. So in the end, what would we treat with greater care? What would be the quality of our everyday? Let us turn to meditation. Spirit of life, let us not only declare love today, but embrace love with intention and attention to the thousands of small acts that sustain it. May we continue to feel that pull into our heart, and may we be guided by our core values of love, justice, and the worth of every person. Amen. We will now sing our next hymn, number 175. We celebrate the web of life.
Please join me in saying our closing words as we extinguish the chalice. As we extinguish this flame, may the spirit of freedom guide our actions. May equality be our constant pursuit, and may the bonds of community remain strong. May we carry the blessings of acceptance, loving kindness, and a grateful heart with us, that we may offer them to a bruised and hurting world.
Until we meet again, may intention and attention flow through us, both in our giving